Hi everyone, welcome to this session. So let's understand what are arrays in JavaScript. So whenever you have multiple values and if you want to store all your values inside a single variable, then you can create arrays, all right? This actually helps you to organize and work with your data in a much better way. And there are two ways of creating arrays. Either you can create your array using the square brackets or using array constructor. And these are the topics that we are going to be covering today. So we'll see how we can create an array by using these two methods. And then we'll see how we can access and modify the array elements. We'll check out some basic methods and then some more advanced methods. And then we are also going to discuss some other array operations as well. All right, so let's just get started and we'll start with creating an array. So I'll move to my JavaScript file. So let's first check out the first method of using square brackets. Okay, so first I have to declare a variable. So let's say const array1 and then I'll use square brackets and I simply have to pass the array element. So if it is numbers, I can pass it like this. Okay, and if I log these values, you'll be able to see the array. So array1, and if I save this, you can see all the values and you can see that it is coming in the array form. And similarly, if I have to pass string values, I can do that as well. Let's give it another name, colors. Let's say red, orange, and green. And similarly, if I log this array as well, I'll be able to see all the values inside this array. The other way is by using the constructors. I'll declare the variable first. So let's say const fruits and is equals to, and these are the keywords that I have to use. So new and then array. So this is how you create the constructor. Okay, and then inside this you have to pass the values. So here either if you want to keep numbers, you can keep numbers, or even you can pass string values. So here I'll just pass some values and that's it. And if I log these values, you can see the array. All right, now the next thing is, let's see how we can access the elements and modify the elements of the array. So here if you see, all the positions of all the elements are indexed and it is starting with 0. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically what I want to say here is that every element has a index position, right? And it is starting with 0. All right, so if you want to access the elements of the array, you have to access it using the index value. So for example, let me remove these two. If I want to access, let's say this element, so I'll log this, I'll pass the array name, and then I have to pass the index position. So what is the position for this element, right? So it starts with 0. So 0, 1, and then 2. So I have to pass 2 here. Okay, so now you see I got the value, right? And similarly, if you want to make any changes to this, right, you have to access the element in the same way and then you can update the value. So for example, if I do array, like the name of the array, and let's say position 2 or let's say 3, and if I update it to 10, and then after this I'll log the array again, and if I save this, let's check the values. Okay, so at position 3, right, 0, 1, 2, 3, we have the updated value now, which is 10. All right, so this is how you can access and update the elements of the array. Now let's go ahead and check these methods, like what are these methods. So we'll first see what push method does. So if I do nums.push and if I provide a number, right, let's say 12 here, then it is going to add 12 at the end of the array. Let me log this as well. So log and then the array, the name of the array is nums. If I save this, you can see 12 got added at the end. So push method is always going to add the element at the end of the array, and if we use unshift, it is going to add the element in the starting. Okay, the next method was unshift. So let's copy this, replace this with unshift, and if I save this, you see now 12 got added at the starting itself. And then pop and shift is actually for eliminating the elements. Okay, so if I use pop here, so let's say nums.pop, so it is going to remove the last element of the array. Okay, after this I'll log the array, and if I save this, you see the last element got deleted, right? And if you want to delete the first element, you have to use shift method. So I'll just copy this, and if I replace this with this, and if I save this, you'll see the first element will get deleted. So see, the first element got deleted. So if you want to add a new element at the end of the array, you are going to use push, and to add the element at the starting of the array, you are going to use unshift, and to eliminate the element from the end, you'll use pop. To eliminate the element from the starting, you are going to use shift. Okay, and then these are some other methods that you will see heavily getting used with arrays. So it's very important to learn about all of these things. So let's start with the first one, which is for each. Okay, so I'll go to the JavaScript. Now what happens when I log this array? Okay, so nums, and if I save this, you see I get the whole array, right? But I'm not getting the values separately. Now if I want to apply some sort of logic on each and every element of the array, and in that case I want to take out all the elements out of the array, then what will I do? I will of course run a loop, right? So for that we are going to use this method. Okay, for each method. To use for each method, you first need to mention the array. So the array name is nums, then dot for each, and then inside for each, you need to write an anonymous function. So how do we write a function? We write this keyword function and then we provide a function name, right? But here we don't have to. We'll just write function and then we'll add parenthesis, and then inside parenthesis you have to keep a variable. Okay, you don't have to declare, but you have to keep a variable which is going to hold all the element values. So here I will just give it a name as num. You can give any name here. Okay, so I can give abc xyz anything, whatever I want, but I'm going to give it as num. Okay, and then inside this we will just access the array elements. So here if I just print num now and then run this, you see we have all the elements separated out, right? So here let's say if I want to do a summation of all the elements, then I can do that as well, right? I'll just take another variable here. So let total is equals to 0, and then total is equals to total plus the value that comes in num, right? Because this is going to give us all the values one by one, right? And then outside this we are going to print the total value. So log and then total. Let's just save this. So we have to keep it outside. Of course, it's not defined here. Let's just save this, and then so now you can see we have all the elements printed, and then we have the total value. Okay, if you sum all these 4 elements, you get the value as 22. So if you have to apply any logic, and for that, if you want to take out all the elements one by one, you can use for each. Now let's check this one. So let me remove this line, and I'll also remove this. And I'm actually going to remove this as well. We use map method when we want to do some sort of manipulation to the array. Okay, so it does not change the original array, but rather it creates a copy of the array and provides us the manipulated value, the updated value, right, based on whatever logic you have written. So let's say I want to let me just write it first and then I'll explain. Okay, so the syntax goes something like this. I'll write nums dot map. It is very similar to for each, but of course the fundamental is different. So map, and then here in a very same way we have to write function, and then we have to give some sort of variable name like a container to hold all the values. So here we are going to give it as number again, or you can give anything else as I said before, right? So let's say item, and here, and this map method always returns something. Okay, so I'll write return. It is going to return you the new array that it is going to create, right? So here I just want to double the numbers. Okay, so item into 2. So this item is going to give me all the numbers one by one, right? So it will have 3 first, so 3 into 2, and then when it has 5 into 2, so that is what it is going to do. And because it is returning something, we can receive it in another variable. Okay, so let's say const and double the numbers is equals to, and then we can just log this value. Okay, so let's just log this value. So double the numbers, and if I save this, you see all the values are multiplied by 2. Okay, but as I said before, right, this method is not actually modifying the original array. Okay, now let's see the next method. The next one is filter. So filter is very similar to map, but there is one small difference. So filter method does not manipulate the array values, okay, but it rather based on the test that you're going to write inside your method, it will give you a subset of the original array. Okay, so let's understand this by taking an example. So if I'm let me remove this, and then the syntax is again pretty similar. So nums dot filter. Okay, and then inside filter we'll write a function. We'll take a variable here, so let's say item, and then as I said, okay, that you have to write a test. So we'll write something like this, nums dot filter. The syntax is pretty much similar but not exactly. If I write a function here and then I have to give a variable to hold the value, and then here it will return the value based on the test that you write here, right? So let's say whatever I'm getting here, right, let me change it back to num. So if this number, let's say if I want to check that return me the number if it is an even number, right? So if I write a test for even number, so num modulo 2 is equals to, sorry, if the result comes out 0, then only return me the value, otherwise not. Okay, so the result of filter method depends on the test that you have given. If the test is true, then only it will return you the value, otherwise not. But if you observe, it is not changing or manipulating any data in the array. Okay, it is not giving you the manipulated result back. It is rather giving you a subset of this array based on whoever is passing this test. Okay, so now because it is returning you something at least, right, whenever the test is passed by any element, so we are going to receive it in some other variable. So let's say const, and I'll say even numbers, And that's it. Okay. So here, if I log this even numbers and if I save this, you see 6 and 8. So whichever number is an even number, for that it passed the test and then it has returned that particular number. And whichever number failed the test, that got eliminated. Eliminated as in it didn't return that value. Okay. Now let's check find. So the difference between filter and find is that find will exit the moment it receives at least one element where the test is true. Okay. So if I replace this with find and let's say if so you observe this, right? This is the result for the filter. Okay. So the first element is 6 where the test will be passed because 6 is the first element in this array which is an even number. So it should just stop there. Okay. So if I save this and if I run this again, okay, you see I got the result as 6 because that is the difference between filter and find. Filter runs for all the elements. It will run till the end of the array, but find will stop, will exit the moment it finds the first element where the test is true. Okay. Now let's understand what we get by using this method, reduce. So I'll remove this. So this also, let me just first write the example and then I'll explain. So nums dot reduce, and then we'll write function, and then here I'm going to give number and then curly brackets and this, right? So reduce is what it does is that it is going to reduce all the values of an array by doing a summation, but then you need a place to hold that value. Okay, so here in the function you are going to pass two parameters and not just one. So one is to hold all the array elements and you need one more where you are going to keep the reduced value, right? The summated values. So here I'll give another name. You can give any name here, right? But you need to pass two parameters. The first one is going to hold the reduced value of the array, right? And by reduced I mean it is going to sum all the values and convert it into one. Of course, right? When you plus all the values, then you are going to get only one value, right? So this is the variable which is going to hold all the values, and this is the variable, of course, like wherein you are getting each and every element of the array. Okay, and then here after this, right, you also need to initialize the variable total, right? So I'll explain this. Okay, so but before this, let's just do something else. So total, this is also going to return us something, right? So return total plus number. Okay, and if I let me go out and if log this once, so because it is returning something, let's just receive it. So const reduced value, and then let's just log this, and if I save this, let's see what we get the value as, right? 22. So let me just take some easier number. Okay, 5, 10, 20, so 35. Okay, so what is it doing, right? So the syntax is pretty similar. The only thing that we are doing is we are passing one additional parameter over here because we want a container to hold the reduced value of the array. Okay, that is the format for this, but that is the syntax for this method. Okay, and after that what you have to do is you also have to give the initialization, right? To what value you want to initialize this variable. So if I have given as 0, then the initialization will be 0. So 0 plus 5 and then 0, like whatever the total will hold, right? It will hold 5 initially, and then when it will get 10, then 5 plus 10, 15, and then when it will get the next number 20, then it is going to add that 20 to the previous total value. Okay, but you still need to give the initialization. So here, for example, we have given 0, right? So let's see if I give it as 5, right? So that means the total is already having a value of 5, and then on top of 5 you are reducing everything else from the array. So 5, 5, and then plus all the values of the array. Okay, so if I save this, you see it is 40 now. So these two things are very important when you are using the reduce method. So you will see this method, for example, if I give you like a real use case, right? So let's say if you have a shopping cart, right, wherein you have to reduce the price of the items. Reduce as in if you want to get the total of all the elements that has been added in the cart. So at such places, these methods can be used. So we use for each to iterate over the array elements. We use map method if we want to manipulate any data in the array element. We use filter if we want a subset of the array and we just want to write a test, and if any element passes that test, we want to just return the array with only those elements, right? And we use find only when we are interested to get the first value which passes the test. All right, and reduce is used to get a reduced value of the array, as in the summated value of the array. Now let's check this one. This is going to check if an element exists in an array or not. Okay, so let me copy this, and here if I just, so we don't need this right now. So log and then nums dot includes, and if I mention an array element, let's say if I mention 1, okay, it is going to return me false because there is no element as 1 in this array. Okay, if I return 5, it will give me true. So based on if the element exists in the array or not, it is going to return us true or false. And then we have concat and slice, so to merge and slice the arrays, right? So let's just first see concat here. So let's say this is the first array and then I'll take another array, and here I'm going to change the name first and I'll give different elements. So let's say 6, 8 and then 22. And then if I have to concat these two, so I'll just log this value and I'll write nums1 dot concat, and with which array I want to concat this array, nums2, right? So nums2. And then if I click on save, right? So here you can see both the arrays got combined. So, right? So if you want to merge two arrays, you can use this method concat. Now let's check what does slice method do. Okay. So we'll go here and then I'm going to remove this array and then I'll add few more values here. Let's say 6, 8 and 9. So first let's create another variable here. So let's say sliced result, and here from numbers, so we'll do the array name dot slice, and then you have to give the start and end position. Okay, so if I want to take out 20 and 6, so let's count 0 1 2, so the index is 2 and then comma and 0 1 2 3, although the index is 3, but I have to give it as 4 because this method does not include the last element but the one before that. Okay, so I have to give 4 here so that it can include till 3. All right, and if I log this now, so slice result, if I save this, you can see we have 20 and 6 now. And let's say if you don't give the start position, right? So, sorry, the end position. And if you only give the start. So if I give it as 1, right? So it is going to start from 0, 1. So it is going to slice everything as in like, it, because we have not mentioned the end position here, right? So if I save this, you see 10, 20, 6, 8, 9, right? Because we have not given the end position. So it started with 0, 1 and then it has sliced everything out. Okay. And let's say if I write -1 here, then it will think that, okay, I'm giving the position I want to take out the last element. Okay, so if I do -1 here and save this, you see it only gives me the last element. Okay, and similarly, if I do -2, it is going to give me the last two elements. So it starts from the end. Okay, so there are a lot of other things that you can try this with this method. I think you'll get to know more when you practice it. I think for now, this much is enough. Let's just move on and let's just see how we can use splice. So all these methods that we saw, right, none of that was actually modifying the original array itself. So if you want to modify the original array itself, then you have to use this method. So let's just copy this and check this out. I'm going to remove this and then let's just take another array actually. So let's say fruits. So here the syntax goes like this: fruits dot, I have to define, like write in the method splice, and then I want to remove, let's say, one element from position 1. So you can see this, right? So start, the start position, okay, and then what do you want to remove, right? The number. Okay, so 1, and then if you want to assign a new value, if you want to keep a new value, so here if I give it as mango, let's say, okay, now let's just go ahead and print this array. So here, right, from 0 1, so it is going to remove apple and then it is going to replace it with this value, log fruits. And if I save this, you see banana, mango and grapes. Okay, and let's say if I write something like this, so fruits dot splice, and if I mention position 1, but if I give 0, that means I don't want to remove any element, right? But I do want to place another new element in between. Then what will I do? Let's say if I type in orange, so because I have mentioned 0, it is not going to remove anything. Okay, but it will place a new element for sure. So if I, let me just log this now, log fruits, and if I save this, you see there is a new element now here, okay, at position 1, right? So I think we have covered the basics of array. We learned how to create an array, how to access, then we also checked out few methods and then few other operations on the array, right? And but there are a lot of other array methods that you can actually, if you want to practice, you can practice more, but these were some, like, commonly used ones that I thought that you should know. But I think with this you should be good to start, and that's it for now. I'll see you in the next one.